Welcome to another day of NQ running before I wake up. Oh man. For those of you guys that were today's gonna be a probably a relatively quick stream, guys. I'll probably do a little bit of narration slash education, and then we'll probably just wait for FOMC later. I doubt we get anything I'm willing to play, which is why I say it's gonna be quick. I would typically rule today as like a no trade day by this point. I would like to be done with my day, but alas, we have moved without me, so we'll be pretty quick. Again, we have the open here in 5 minutes. Again, we'll see if anything forms around the open. Maybe in the off chance that something does, but we talked a little bit yesterday on stream about NQ kind of changing its direction into today. We were kind of taking a look at it yesterday as it cleared some of these equal highs here. Just flushing out some of the liquidity above here. Again, we said we wanted to stay patient yesterday, not really take any shorts, you know, just because of that. And then we'd be most interested after rollover, especially if we continued to push higher and just take some more structural liquidity at areas like this. A couple of people had mentioned above 25, 140 yesterday in chat. So that kind of ended up playing out. And we've kind of spilled over this morning. So again, not really a trade day for me, more of like a narration slash what could have been. Again, we can see some of that end of day action here from yesterday. What I really want to point out from yesterday, like yesterday was really a no trade day too. We really didn't do shit yesterday, if we're being real. You know, this is like the opening range right here. The 5-minute opening range, nonetheless. And we really just didn't trade outside of that most of the day. Again, we pushed up out of it, we grabbed the bottom side of it. Again, is there some opportunity inside of here? Maybe to some people's opinion. It's a pretty flat day, pretty wasteful day. If you ask me, after the open, most of the move happened before that. We might get a little bit of a repeat of that today, actually, with FOMC later. Again, making a lot of its move pre-market. You know, now we go to open, it's like maybe... Oh, maybe it stays active, maybe it doesn't, but... A lot of pre-market action. The range from yesterday's day did end up pushing out during Asian session, which is pretty much what we were looking for. And it left behind a lot of untaken liquidity, right? Type 2 reaccumulations, a reaccumulation that doesn't have any sort of spring at the bottom side of it, which would have been more down at 24,950. So of course, you know, this range builds up, pushes out, eventually becomes unsustainable above some other, you know, previous equal highs that we kind of left in the market. Becomes unsustainable above that, forms a new range, and then eventually comes back for that weak reaccumulation. So pretty classic play. Again, we talk about it all the time. Reaccumulations and redistributions that are type 2 and have no spring almost always run out of steam at some point, and you come back for them. Sometimes you get dual reaccumulations where you will reaccumulate here again with no spring and then push higher, then collapse on it all. Not really what we got, but it's always a possibility. Unfortunately, there was nothing like super clear here that the indicator wanted to call out up at these highs. I think there was some interesting stuff that happened up here. You kind of just zoom in on some of this action. Again, you have this candle, this 15-minute candle at the highs. Pretty strong 15-minute candle in terms of results. Also happening on decent volume. Had this erased in a ample amount of time, you probably would have had some absorption print off of this, which is again something I'm looking to change in the indicator code. Oh, excuse me. So that's unfortunate that didn't erase in a decent amount of time. Again, for those of you looking at just raw price action, though, again, just taking a look at the volume of that overnight. Again, some of the higher volume overnight into that 2 a.m. No follow through on it, close back inside, slightly erase it, closing below it. So our perspective shifts at, some point over here, whether you want to consider this candle a close below, I do. Or some of these other candles, at that point, we start to shift our idea. We don't really do too much into some of the London open price action. The only thing that really did form up here, I don't even know if I have it on, I do have it on, was this 3-minute absorption that printed against local liquidity. So again, you have that shift in tone on that 15-minute, and then you kind of build up liquidity all night. And then you wipe that liquidity and we get a nice little absorption print. So this is like the bread-winning trade of today. I mean, this thing ran far beyond it. It's 5R. I don't even know. Let's see what the original stop was on this. Let's get the little absorption print. Let's just take the worst possible entry it could have got. So I mean, if you held full into the open here, yeah, 1 to 21. All right, I'm ending stream. No, not yet, but I really do want to though. It's really unfortunate we missed this. It's just so beautiful. Again, for those of you looking for shorts above that 25, 140, you couldn't have asked for a better early morning setup than this 6 a.m. Again, whether you're looking at like these highs, whether you're looking at the entire range, it's all just beautiful. It's all just beautiful. We didn't get any 5-minute prints, didn't get any 15-minute prints, at least to the sell side. There was a 5-minute print here. You could maybe argue if you were bullish up at these highs, right? Same thing, kind of taking out the bottom side of the range. Liquidity not quite as nice. You do have this lone candle here. Again, I would say looking at this based off the proper picture of the 15-minute, the 2-hour swipe, I'd question why you're really buying up here, but it was an option, I suppose. So yeah, again, a lot of the good action happens on these lower time frames. Again, you started to see some of the shift happen at 2 a.m. Executions happened around 6 a.m. And it's been running strong ever since. Now that we opened, I don't really know if we get anything in particular that I like. Again, there's some opportunity maybe that you play into this and continue down. Again, we now have FOMC on deck, so I don't know. For me, I wouldn't be looking to play after something as I've told you guys. If there's a really clean setup from earlier in the day from London's pre-market that already runs a lot of what I want to happen, it's tough for me to look at this now and be like, all right, let me find my opportunity to get in. I know there's a lot of people that stream and teach that will look primarily just at what's happening right now, and they will look at that in a sort of fresh eye look. You could do that. I just think the good opportunity for the day is gone. And again, as per the way that I trade, that's just really unfortunate, right? I'm not gonna chase something that is now down 76 points in the day and a couple hundred from the overnight highs, 250 points from the overnight highs. Just not gonna do that. So again, we'll see what we get. There's some case for the buy side on some of these. ES, which is a very similar setup, is playing into its 2-hour lone candle. So again, for maybe people that are looking at these highs as maybe still need to be taken, You know, this could be your continuation area. NQ not quite down into its lone candle yet, so again, that does make me believe there's more action to happen to the sell side. Yeah, and there's nothing really else that I'm interested in here. So we'll see what today brings. But for those of you that subscribe to the way that I trade and the logic that I follow, again, this is what we would have wanted. Again, it unfortunately happens at a time where I'm not awake. Somebody said, I think we going up. Okay. I mean, do you have more thoughts on that other than what you think? Right? What makes you think that? Context. What's your context around that? Yes, happy hump day. Happy Wednesday. So yeah, man, I really do think the breadwinners, again, are early, you know, pre-market, as I like to call it. Pre-market are really the winners. Again, could this buy up through FOMC? You could. I don't really see any reason why we would sustain that. I'm gonna be honest, I think if FOMC were to push us back up to any degree, that could get me interested in potential absorption prints. Again, I don't see anything bullish coming out of the Fed's mouth. I mean, there could be some stuff in the projections that maybe highlights the potential for future cuts that we don't know about. I find that unlikely. Again, the market could surprise me with that. I will potentially change my tone a little bit if that happens, but I don't suspect that. We hit 50% of yesterday's range. I think it's a good point to push up. Okay. That's an opinion. 50% of yesterday's range. And if you're just talking about just yesterday's, I think we're beyond 50% of yesterday's range. Yeah, like we're well below. I mean, yesterday's range is not really that huge, if that's what you mean. But like yesterday wasn't really a. I'm sorry, I'm not even on the right pair. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if that's a continuation pattern for you, that could definitely be something. I think this could be a fake out. Then a sell-off could come. Yeah, I mean, again, guys, there's a bunch of liquidity higher that I'm still somewhat interested in. I mean, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Like, you know, there's still some stuff up at like 25,500. So again, we like could we bounce from here? We could. I'm not gonna say that we can't. I'm just saying, like, for me, it's a no trade day either way. I mean, if this buys up, I'm not gonna even care because it's not like I'm looking for sells here, and it's not like I'm really looking to do anything. Again, like I said, this was the breadwinning position for the way that I trade. Right? It happened at 6:30 this morning. I was asleep. Right? My years of experience tells me that at this point, I'm not doing anything today. Honestly, I wasn't even going to stream today, but I wanted to come hang out with everybody. So I'm going to be honest, I don't really even care what it does. My assumption that would be into FOMC, we form like, you know, a range within some of these pauses here. You know, and if we set up in a way that, like, you know, calls for some buying, yeah, okay. My first assumption, though, is that we probably test up into these areas, come back down, and kind of just do something like this into FOMC. Matt, what's going on, man? Good to see you on stream, brother. So, yeah, I mean, those are my thoughts. I mean, I could take a look at gold. Gold, I know, sold off overnight as well. I mean, the last thing we talked about on gold, and I didn't play anything on this, which is unfortunate, but last time we talked about it was up by this red arrow. You know, we talked about a setup in here, which was like a 10 out of 10 setup if you ignored the higher time frame. So that was the last time we talked about gold. Obviously, that lower time frame thing didn't work out. And it's because, again, you're swiping the liquidity up here, you're making a redistribution, and this just plays into these lower targets. I don't remember what this line was based off of. I really just think it's the lows of this old range. But yeah, gold, I mean, gold pretty intense overnight. Again, I've talked about gold in the macro, and there's a reason I don't really like metals right now, and it's because, and I've been saying this since we were like way back over here, and this is, again, why I haven't really talked about metals, is I just think they're range bound. I think in the macro, this doesn't do anything, right? Between here and like here, like this doesn't do anything. And this is a giant range, so there's a lot of stuff you can play inside of this. Like, there's a lot of opportunity, you know, playing away from stuff like this and targeting lows. I just think it's going to be more annoying. You're going to get more range-bound stuff. You're going to fall into ranges easier. I don't know if I still have the notes on any of these charts. I forget where I put it. I might have put it on NQ. No, I deleted it. But basically, like, what we've been kind of talking about is how, and this might be a little confusing for anybody that's on the newer side, but we've been talking about money flow, right? And we've been talking about how, like, Bitcoin has been leading, NQ following, and then, like, metals are lagging. And what I mean by that is, like, Bitcoin went through some distributions at its highs, it's moved out, it's, you know, so it's distribution, move down, redistribution, move down. I believe this is redistributing again for a less intense, but still another leg down. I don't think it's going to be as intense as these other ones, because, again, the cycle is shortening, right? Long cycle, nice move. Shorter cycle, less of a move. Shorter of a cycle, it's smaller move, right? So this is leading. I think NQ is following, as in this is still making its first distribution, right? So this is going to eventually make its aggressive move out, and then redistribute, and then fall, and then redistribute, and then fall. That's just my belief. And then Bitcoin, which is like lagging all, or not Bitcoin, I'm sorry. Gold, which is just lagging all of that, is just now, right? Just now starting its like distribution. So this is gonna be like a pain in the ass for like a pretty long time. That's kind of why I haven't been interested in metals, right? That's just like the playbook. Is like I expect these to eventually break out of this stupid daily range and make its move down. So again, I just think Bitcoin's leading. I think indices are getting ready to break out to the downside pretty aggressively to take out, like 23. And metals are just gonna be the worst thing you've ever looked at in terms of the daily chart. So yeah, just kind of keeping that in mind. It's kind of why I've been avoiding gold, because gold more days than not is just choppy. I mean, again, yesterday it moved very nice yesterday, but you look at the last 10 days and it's a little annoying. All right, let's see what we get on NQ here though as we begin to test into this lone candle. I'll narrate some of this lower time frame action and see if we get any prints. Again, I would personally not trade from here. But now that we kind of wiped into this area, continuations are most likely. Alright, reaction. There's nothing that printed here though. But immediately look how quickly you're erasing minutes of work, right? Yeah, I think for NASDAQ, I mean, if you are a short side, again, I would be targeting this lone candle today. If I was up here, I probably would have partialed out on the break of this, and then this would be like final exits intraday. If I was able to play this 3-minute. Just want to see something real quick. Get taken out, huh? That's really unfortunate. Taken out again, huh? Still be open. Yeah, the lone candle for ES, a little bit higher here. Not quite playing into it. Keeping in mind that ES already ran its lone candle. I mean, targets for this today would probably be the liquidity that lives just structurally down here. It's possible that maybe ES just holds up a little bit better as well at this point. NASDAQ maybe runs and there's a little bit of divergence. Let me check.
I've got feelings.
Bank of Canada kept rates steady this morning. Trump waives the Jones Act in bid to curb high fuel prices. Yeah, let me ask you guys something, right? And I don't mean over the, I don't mean just since the Iran war started, right? But how many of you guys honestly think the price of gas is high? Right? I'm not like asking you in like, again, like over the past 2 weeks. I understand it's higher than it was 2-3 weeks ago. But I mean, like, in the grand scheme of your life, right? However old you may be, right? Do you consider gas prices high? Because I don't consider them high. In all honesty, I think gas is like one of the cheaper things of like my lifetime in terms of like inflation. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. I think that like the myth that gas is expensive is just. I mean, if you live in California, don't even answer the question because you just live in a fucked state. But I think, like average wise, I don't think it's high, man. Whenever someone tells me, "Oh, the price of gas is so high," and it's like in the $3 range, I'm like, I don't know, man. Don't share that sentiment with you. Maybe it's just me though. Maybe it's just me. Alright, NQ's still playing this lone candle. Yeah, if you get back below here, there might be like some potential for continuation shorts if you want to play into that lone candle. Or not, yeah, that 2-hour lone candle. The only reason I say there's like potential here, if you're gonna read just price versus volume, the idea would be that you're seeing increased bullish volume here with no follow through. We would have to get back below this candle though. Otherwise it's relatively meaningless. But if If Bears are able to keep pressure to the downside, even on lower effort, again, that answers just a tug-of-war question of who's accomplishing more with less effort. And in that case, it would be the bearish side again. Bulls, since the open, you know, increasing volume, not able to break above that 5-minute lone candle. If bears are able to reclaim that action on lower effort, that could be a short. Again, it's high risk trade. I'm personally not taking this, but I will monitor it. Again, it's a no trade day for me. If I start paying $5 for premium, then it's at its peak high. Gas is $2.95. That's what I'm saying. It's not expensive. I don't know, man. I just remember, and like again, I'm gonna like date myself here, whatever, being like, you know, in the 30-year-old range, but I just remember being younger and like just being in school and like people complaining about gas prices like back in like 2008, 2009, 2010, or whenever it was. I don't even remember exactly when it was. I just remember being young and people complaining about gas and gas lines being super long, and people were paying like $4, like over $5 a gallon. And you know, that's, you know, 10-15 years ago minimum, you know. So it's like if that was expensive 15-20 years ago, where like $4, $4.50, $5 was like earth-shattering expensive, then I don't know how in 2026 we can complain about $3-4 gas. Because, and like, I get it, $4 or $5 back then was probably super elevated, because it was probably normally like 1 or 2. But even then, like, if the average was like 2 and we're paying 3, like, I just don't think it's that expensive. I don't think it's like, I don't know. For me, it's just not like that wildly expensive. I feel like there's a bunch of other shit you can complain about. You can talk about like housing numbers, like housing, you know, mortgage and rent rates, or, you know, the cost of milk probably way outpaces what we've seen in gas over like 10-20 years. So I don't know. I don't get the people complaining. Like I said, though, look, we're getting below this candle here, so potential short continuations for those that are interested playing off the 5-minute lone candle wipe. Again, this is not something that I would personally take, but there's nothing else I can narrate right now. But again, I would be looking at it moving down into this 2-hour lone candle potentially if you get this close below. Again, though, I would much rather have played off where my strategy identifies itself way back up here. I'm just sharing my experience between volume and price for you. $2.95 is pretty cheap, by the way. I want to say it's like $3. I want to say it's like $3.30 by me. Oh, this is struggling to get that close below. I'm gonna put a note here for people that join late. All right, I mean, you got that closed below, so I mean, if you were super itching for a trade, actually, hold on 1 second. I probably didn't need to do that to do this, now that I think about it. Alright. Here, somebody, somebody exposed me like Tory trades. I'm gonna paper trade this just as an example. Oh fuck, this is not MNQ. Great. Oh fuck, we're just gonna do it here. This is all my stuff's over here. Just in case people can't see the bot. Oh, how much I wish I could have played up here. Yes, print. I'm gonna. Oh my god, dude, what? No love in the jungle. I'm just seeing what else might have printed overnight. This ES probably could have printed, but again, as per a few rules, it did not. Unfortunate. Yeah, see, this is like falling. It's already falling flat here into 10 a.m. That's what I'm saying. Like today, this whole week has been pre-market trading, man. Pre-market trading. I gotta stop staying up till 2 a.m. and start waking up at like 4 a.m. instead. Literally wouldn't even affect my schedule. But I've been coding into the early hours, and then waking up basically just in time for like 8 o'clock, 8:15. I really should, excuse me. I really should change my schedule to waking up earlier to code at like 4:30, and then I could be up for these potential setups. Probably should end up doing that. Log out of that nonsense. Alright, I'm gonna watch the first little open at 10 a.m. And then I'm probably gonna head out and go take care of some stuff. Again, not a trade day. I'll probably end up doing a short live for FOMC. Just to check out some of the economic projections and see if there's any changes. I'll probably run the report, read through some stuff, see if there's anything that we need to take note of going forward. I doubt there is, so it'll probably just be a quick, like, 15-20 minute stream. If we even do it, I don't know. We'll see. I really don't expect the Fed to say anything different today. I don't expect us. It's just expected to be a normal day with the news drop. Yeah, they're attributing the drop today to futures traders pushing back the chances of forward-looking Fed rate cuts further. Again, this is all stuff we talked about yesterday, right? It's like we don't expect them to announce anything in the projections until after Powell essentially leaves. Right? So anything up until that June, July releases, we don't expect anything different. I think June is a projection month too, which at that meeting we could see some projection changes maybe. If not, then it's not till September. So it would be interesting to me if crypto does hold here. Ethereum did kind of play into that lone candle. Unfortunately, Bitcoin didn't, which I think spells a lot of trouble for the crypto market if Bitcoin is not going to go for that lone candle. Alright, yeah, boys, this is Full and Flat. I'm gonna turn up the music. If there's no comments, questions, concerns in the next minute, I'm gonna wrap this up. Appreciate y'all. Again, no trade day for me. Would have loved to play at 6 a.m. When the indicator called some stuff out. Again, like I said, this is probably your best re-entry trade. If you really were interested at the lows, swipe with a lone candle, 3-minute erase of higher volume. That's unsustainable. Again, playing into that 2-hour lone candle. So again, if that's something that you're playing, good luck to you. Again, it's not something that I would play this late into the move, but it's what I've narrated and saw. That being said, I'm turning the music up to your boy Skag and Gary Day.